any man. You'll find a Mets fan. Let's go. This is a Mets year. For all your Mets here, let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home Make it happen. There's no stopping us now. We're gonna do it again. It's not a question of how. It's just a matter. It's just a matter. It's just a matter of
Hello again, everybody. Joe Piscopo, Shea Stadium. The big story. Mets 86. Exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
You are now watching the Amazing Mets PreGame Show with your hosts, Rob and CP.
Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets!
What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the Amazing Mets PreGame Show right here on the channel. And if you're watching on X, hello to you guys as well. Well, the New York Mets had a hell of a game yesterday. 11-3 victory. 3 3-run home runs. The New York Mets pounded the Philadelphia Phillies at Citizens Bank Park, taking game one of the series, and give it up for Jose Quintana with another outing that a lot of us probably didn't expect, but he pitched damn well, and the Mets offense did a lot. It was Brandon Nimmo. It was Francisco Alvarez. Two guys that were keys to this series that they had to get going. And even Lonzo decided to hit a home run off of a position player to join the party a little bit. The New York Mets are 81-66, going for 82 today in game two of the series with Luis Severino on the mound and Colby Allard for the Philadelphia Phillies. What's up, everybody? Well, here we are, September 14th, 15 games to go, and the New York Mets are still holding on to that third wild card with a game up on the Atlanta Braves. We do gain a game on the Arizona Diamondbacks as they lost yesterday. The Padres did win yesterday, so we didn't gain a game on them. But if the Mets take care of business, we'll be A-OK. And by the way, you see that lineup, right? You see who's batting ninth. I highlighted it in orange. Luis Angel Acuna has been called up to the big club, and finally, Met fans can finally see one of our top prospects we have traded for last year. Luis Angel Acuna has a really good season in the minor leagues. And listen, you heard David Stearns when they talked about bringing him up. Now, it kind of sped up the call up based on the Lindor situation that we'll get to in a little bit if you haven't heard about Lindor. He is okay. He is day-to-day. We'll get into the injury and everything like that. But the Mets were discussing bringing up Acuna earlier on, probably in the beginning of the month. But I guess they didn't feel like they needed to do that yet. They wanted to get Acuna enough playing time, which made sense because there wasn't a lot of room for him to play. So that is understandable. But David Stern's daughter was the right move at this point, especially with Lindor day to day. Again, give him the day off today, right? You do got Luis Severino on the mound, got one of our best pitchers on the mound. See what he's got. You bat him ninth. There's no pressure on him. This isn't like Michael Conforto of 2015 where the Mets needed offense. This isn't, 2022 where the Mets were struggling down the stretch and decided the last week of the season to bring up Francisco Alvarez, right? And throw him right in the heart of the lineup. You're throwing Acuna at the bottom of the lineup, which is a great move by Carlos Mendoza. You could have easily put him at the top of the order and put a tremendous amount of pressure on him. But guess what? Mendoza didn't do that. You know why? Because Mendoza is a damn good manager. What do you do when a kid comes up and people are expecting him to be damn good? Put him batting ninth, play him shortstop, which is his primary position. And you got 8 guys in front of him that can do the job and let him just fit in. And that is a great job by Carlos Mendoza. And the good news with Francisco Lindor, it is more of a lower back soreness. It's basically lower back soreness. And he did it when he said that he jammed himself going back to second base yesterday. So again, I have no problem giving him a day off. He plays every day. He plays every inning. He plays hard every minute of every day. This might be the best thing for Francisco Lindor overall for the remainder of the season and possibly the postseason. You know what? This is a lot of rest for his body. And again, the good news is with Luis Acuna, he is eligible for the playoffs because he's on the 40-man prior to September 1st. So that's a great sign as well. Now, it's yet to be determined if Acuna is going to be on the postseason roster. I know a lot of Met fans probably want that. But let's not get ahead of ourselves yet. This is game 1 of the Luis Angel Acuna Major League Baseball career. So let's calm down. Let's see what he does. And just enjoy. Not only are Met fans enjoying the beatdown that we gave the Phillies yesterday and Aaron Nola, we beat a Phillies team that was red hot, just like the Mets were. The Mets were 8-2 in their last 10. The Phillies were 8-2 in their last 10. The Mets were facing a red hot Phillies team, and they beat up on them. Now, it is only one game, but that game 1 was very, very important. Why? Because you got 2 opportunities to win the series, right? And if you win today, you know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about those brooms. And the best thing, a really fun thing about today and why yesterday was so much fun is that today the Seven Line Army is going to be there. It's going to be a packed house of Met fans. There was a lot of Met fans there yesterday, but today there's going to be a huge section of the Seven Line. I think around a little over 1,000 strong. I'm not sure where they're sitting, but obviously SNY or whoever. I think it's Fox today. They'll probably show the Seven Line somewhere in their blue shirts all over the place. But there's going to be a ton of support there. Luis Angel Acuna is going to get a tremendous ovation from Mets fans, and that is a great sign. And look, the Mets are riding high right now. After that 9th inning that they had in Toronto, it took them a little bit. They were getting no hit for a couple of innings yesterday, but they figured it out. So I guess that is the way to go about it, right? Get no hit for a couple of innings and then break out. But it's a little nerve-wracking to worry about that. But I want to look at the lineup today because it is a very interesting lineup without Francisco Lindor. Before I get started, I see people talking about Blackburn and a leaking back. So he was leaking spinal fluid in his spine. Apparently, it's not that serious. It sounds very serious, but it's not. I did a little WebMD search just to see what the hell that was, because that's an odd injury for somebody that plays baseball. And it's not like he fell or on his back really hard or something like that. I don't know how that happened. Maybe he tweaked it the wrong way. I don't know. But it sounds crazy, but it's actually it's very easily fixed. It doesn't require surgery. Again, I didn't really go that far in depth because it was like 10 pages long, and I'm not trying to read any medical history or medical searches right now. But it's supposed to be not that serious. There's no guarantee that he can come back this season, though, because it could take a little bit of time to recover from that. Even though it's not a dangerous situation, if he plays, I think the Mets want him to be 100%. And of course, we want him to be 100% as well. So the lineup today, without Francisco Lindor, it looks like this. I do like Iglesias at the top of the order. He battles his at-bats. He puts the bat on the ball, doesn't strike out a lot. Perfect leadoff hitter, right? Put him in the number one hole. He got speed, obviously. He is playing second today. We've got Mark Vientos, of course, playing third base. Kind of finally got out of that 0 for like 16 that he had. A base it up the middle, gotten jammed. Brandon Nimmo with the 3-run homer. Great to see Brandon Nimmo come alive yesterday playing left field. Peter Lonzo, yes, it was a throw me away home run. But it's nice to see Pete Alonso put a little bit of the fat part of the bat on the baseball. He's batting cleanup. JD Martinez is back in the lineup against the lefty, and DH is Starlin Marte is back in the lineup playing right field, of course, against the lefty. Then you got Francisco Alvarez touching, who also hit a 3-run homer yesterday, and he looks like he's coming alive as well. And now you have Harrison Bader, who also hit a 3-run homer yesterday and playing today, playing center field. And, of course, we just talked about him, Luis Angel Acuna, the Mets, one of the Mets' top 5 prospects in baseball. Obviously, it was with the trade with the Texas Rangers last year for Max Scherzer. We got Luis Angel Acuna in that deal, and now he is the shortstop for the New York Mets, at least for today. We'll see what happens. And he is batting ninth, obviously, again, playing shortstop. Great to see that Stearns is not afraid. Again, there's one thing that Stearns is not afraid to do, and that is bring up the young guys when you need them. And let's be quite honest, the Mets middle infield has kind of been like, as of late, right? Ever since the McNeil injury, it's been Perez, it's been Reyes. Eddie Alvarez, it's been a Reyes. Nothing special. Right? At least Acuna can bring something extra. That excitement. Possibly a lot of production. We don't know, but there's a lot of excitement here with Luis Angel Acuna. He's supposed to be damn good. So we'll see. All right? I don't care what the minor league number says. He's had a really good season. He's got a quick bat. He's got some speed. He has shown a lot more power this year. Good sign for the New York Mets. We'll see. Right? Let's see if he just – look, batting him ninth is the smartest move Mendoza can do in this spot. It's a big game for the New York Mets. It's a big game for the Phillies. It's going to be a packed house on a Saturday, nationally televised on Fox. No more pressure for a rookie and a top prospect than Luis Angel Acuna with that scenario. But there's already pressure before anything. Right when he got traded here, he's Ronald Acuna's brother. That's enough pressure because a lot of people believe or probably look at, hey, you got to be as good or better than your brother. So there's a lot of pressure on Luis Angel Acuna because they see his brother, MVP, World Series champion, puts up great numbers, and a lot of people just expect that because he's the brother. Now, who knows? But at this moment, I just want him to not trip over himself. Make the defensive plays, right? Make the easy plays at shortstop. The fundamentals. That's what he's got to stick to. In my opinion right now, worry about your defense because up the middle with Iglesias and Laura has been basically perfect. Acuna can't mess with that defense. The defense has been damn good for the New York Mets. Got to be careful with him defensively. Haven't really looked much at his defensive metrics, but he's a primary shortstop. That's his main position. So we'll see how it goes. And it does say SNY. I apologize. Maybe that's next week. Maybe I was wrong. Is it on SNY? I'm so confused. See what happens when you don't live in New York anymore? It kind of messes with me. It's for you're right. Hold on. Let me check something. I'm checking, guys. I'm checking. Give me a second. Ken, exactly. Now you finally get it. I'm never wrong, except most of the time. Lonely Satellite, how you doing, buddy? And it is SNY, right? Okay, so if it is SNY, okay, it is SNY. Apologize for that. It is on SNY. Sorry, I'm not trying to make people jump on Fox or anything like that. Even though, good, it's on SNY. We get a good broadcast. That's good. All right, so it is on SNY. That's my bad. All right, Henry, thank you. I appreciate that. So there you go. It is on SNY, but still, it's still a big game, still a big series. It's a packed house at Citizens Bank. A lot of pressure being the brother of Ronald Acuna. Or so listen, it is going to be a tough game, right? The Phillies have been red hot. Like I said, the Mets are red hot, have been really good, doing their job, remaining in that third wild card. We're hoping to be at least tied for second wild card at the end of the day today. That would be a good time for us to, jump up the standings a little bit. Give us a little breathing room from behind us with the Braves. That would be nice as well. And for anything, can the freaking Dodgers be the Braves? Please, please. I don't ask for much, Dodgers. I know you're choke artists. I know you want a fake World Series, but can you please beat the Braves for us? Right? All the money you spent, I don't care about your starting pitching. You're going to choke in the playoffs like you always do. But can you at least beat the Braves for us? Please? Jesus. My God. Beat the Braves. You frauds. Jesus. Beat the Braves. How about that? All right? We know you're going to lose in the playoffs. You do it every year in a real year, not no fake 60-game season. So how about doing a favor? All right? Please. We don't ask for much. How about a little bit of help? How about beating their ass? All right? Thank you. All right. Mr. Nobody, doesn't it feel like that? But hey, if the Mets go 18-2 and the Braves go 19-2, the Mets will have it would be tied, right? And it would come down to that series. I know that's 18, but yeah, exactly. I agree, Mr. Nobody. I agree with you. I agree. That's Met fans in a nutshell. That's just how it goes for us, right? Things don't go always as planned, right? Yesterday was a beautiful night. Mets offense came alive, three-run home runs. Pete Lonzo with the hey, look at me, I'm here home run. Everything was going good. Quintana pitched good. Everything was looking nice. And then Lindor, even though it's day to day, it's still something that you have to pay attention to. And it's like, damn, can we ever have anything nice without anything screwing up? No. That's the problem. But the Mets are giving us a hell of a season right now, and they got to finish it off with a game like today. Colby Allard, left-handed pitcher. The Mets are clearly stacking right-handers all throughout the lineup. The only lefty is Nemo. So, excuse me, guys. Sorry. Sorry. Woo. It's been a long day, man. No sleep. But hey, we all have that problem. Let me just check the chat really quick. Well, Ethan, we wouldn't play the Braves in round one. Again, it still is determined yet, but we're either going to face one of the wild card teams or the third or the Brewers, basically. So we'll see. We will definitely see. Let's see. Yeah, Chris, not in the lineup. It's always when you hear everything is fine. Yeah, well, technically, we knew everything wasn't fine. We knew it wasn't serious. We just didn't know if it was day to day. It was a week. We don't know. And Mendoza, after the game yesterday, said if the game was closer, Lindor would have been in the game. So, again, Lindor has played through everything. His wife was having a baby, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm good. Enjoy yourself. Have the baby. Pop her out, and I'll play baseball." So if Lindor can be with the birth of his child and then still play that same day, a lot's not gonna keep him away. But yes, Lindor MVP, that would be great. I think too many riders are too stuck in Otani's butt. And I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd love for it to happen, being the first Met in their history to win an MVP. He freaking deserves it. Let's just be clear about that. He deserves it. So, but we don't have control over that. All we have control over is biting of our nails, getting nervous, pulling out our hair because we're Met fans, and we just got to pray that everything goes according to plan and everything works out perfectly, or at least good enough where the Mets can win a ball game. Ken, I said that right before the stream, when the stream first started. I think it can be a blessing in disguise, giving Lindor a day off. He plays every day. He plays hard. This can give him, could rejuvenate him a little bit. Get him that breather, get him that rest. Comes back ready to go, right? And somewhat, maybe not 100% healthy, but definitely, at least a little bit less tired at the very least. That's a good thing. Starlin Marte, big game today. Hey, Chris, why not? I mean, I was wrong with the Lindor leadoff home run, but I was close. Hey, they hit what, 4 home runs yesterday? So, hey, I was kind of right. It was just the wrong players. Sit Lonzo for 2 weeks. Yeah, it can be a mental rest as well. Absolutely. It probably, you know what? It's a good point. It really can be. Let's go. What's up? All right. Let's see. I'm just checking the comments, guys. Well, easy. Yesterday, other guys stepped up, right? We've been criticizing Nimmo, criticizing Francisco Alvarez. Listen, they came up big yesterday. Those 3-run homers gave us 6-0 lead, 6-run lead. Again, they got to continue it, but it was good signs. Alvarez had good at-bats yesterday, not just the home run. I know there's a lot of people that just look at that home run and says, oh, he's back. I think Francisco Alvarez is figuring things out up at the plate because of his other at-bats. Hitting the ball up the middle, working the counts, getting deeper in the counts, letting the ball come in deeper to the plate, not trying to pull everything. Hitting the ball up the middle to right field. Yeah, he pulled that ball down the line and hit the foul pole, but that ball was well inside. He's strong enough to pull his arms in and take it out of the ballpark. So those were good signs for Francisco Alvarez because of all of his at-bats and the way he went about them. Not just that home run, even though that's the big hit, obviously. But all of his at-bats yesterday just were solid at-bats. And that's a great sign for a Mets team that needs those guys. We need Alvarez. We need Nimmo. Nimmo had better at-bats yesterday, which is a good sign despite other than the home run at-bat. So that's good signs. And these are the guys we're going to need if Alonzo never comes through and if Lindor is out a day or two. But look at the hits yesterday. Look what happened yesterday, right? It was the hit from Tyrone Taylor and Iglesias. Was it Iglesias? I don't remember. I know it was Tyrone Taylor and somebody else that got on for Francisco Alvarez. Right? There you go. Ken, I don't even think they need 4 hot hitters. I think they need 2 hot hitters, which they had the majority of the year. 2 hot hitters and somebody that is a little bit above average. 4 hot hitters would be great. I mean, we all want that. I mean, we score 10 runs a ball game probably. But I think we need, like we've been all year, 2 hot hitters and somebody that is actually performing well, above average. Like the Mets this year, right? What was it, right? When it was Lindor and Nimmo. It was Vientos who was above average. When it was Vientos and Lindor, it was basically Iglesias. So, even when it was Lindor and Martinez, it was Nimmo being above average. So you just need two hot guys that can really just drive in those runs. But you need the other guys to do at least something. And that's the important thing right now. But look, this lineup is the first time you're going to see it without Lindor. Now, we've talked about how deep this lineup is. The good news is Nimmo's batting third, who looked good with the bat yesterday. Alvarez is batting seventh, who was also looking good with the bat yesterday. And then you trickle in Vientos and Iglesias at the top of the order in front of Nimmo. You got Marte, who has good numbers at Citizens Bank, and it has been hitting well against lefties. Bader has finally got out of his little malaise and his slump. That's at the bottom of the order behind Alvarez. So it's not an easy lineup to navigate. And this is why this lineup, we always talk about it, me and CP, all the time on any show we're on. There's another level to this lineup. Ken just said it. Imagine four of these guys in a lineup hot. Hasn't been like that all season. If that's the case, this team would be outstanding. We'd probably be talking about a division and probably right where the Phillies are right now if the lineup was that big and have that many guys going. That's why we keep saying that we're winning despite having 3+ guys hot at the same time. It's only been 2 guys and the supporting cast. It's never been more than that. That's why we talk about, wow, imagine if Nimmo and Alvarez and pick another one, Nimmo or Lindor or Vientos, 3 out of the 4 get hot at the same time. That's a tough lineup to deal with. And that's the important thing to realize is that this lineup still has another level, which makes this team have another level. That's why I want to get into the playoffs, because you just don't know. If a couple of guys get hot, you can have a run like the Diamondbacks had. You can have a run like the 23 Phillies. Oh, excuse me, the 2022 Phillies. It can be just like that. Why can't it be us? And let's be honest, guys. When the Mets make the playoffs, most of the time, which is rare, they usually go on a bit of a run. Right? Look at their history. Besides 22, besides 16, they've at least had a little bit of a run. At least took an NLDS to Game 5 or made it to the NLCS. They did it more often than not throughout the history. So if nobody wants to talk about history, but only want to bring up negative history, like you can't bring up, well, the Mets never make the playoffs once every 7 years. Okay. Well, if you bring up the negative history, I'm going to bring up the positive history where the Mets, when they make the playoffs, they do some damage. So that's why I want this team in the playoffs. And for anybody, if you're still one of those guys that says, I don't want the Mets to make the playoffs as a wild card team, what are they going to do? Go in the wild card series and lose? So you rather just not make the playoffs and not have the opportunity? You can't have it every way you want. You can't win the division, win 100 games, and go into the playoffs. Like that's a stamp of approval that you're going to make the World Series because you had that type of season. I'm sorry. Just make the playoffs, and you got a chance just as good as a chance as anybody else. And the last 2 years, since the new wildcard playoff bracket has been implemented, it's been wildcard teams that have been going on runs, not the highest winning percentage in baseball or the best teams in baseball, and especially if you have the bye, which I think it depends on what type of team you have where the bye could help, but it hasn't as of yet. And until that team that has the bye goes on a run, and I'm not saying win the World Series, but make the World Series, then why do I just assume that the better teams are going to win? Because it just doesn't work like that. Why play the game, right? If a better team is supposed to always win, the Mets wouldn't have won yesterday, right? What's up, Space Ghost? How you doing, buddy? Gifted one talking about with Rob membership. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. New member of the channel. Do appreciate that, Space Ghost. Keep on coming back for more, and thank you to being a member. No, the bye didn't matter to the Astros. Again, I'm not saying it's set in stone, right? But I'm talking about in the National League, it seems to work a little bit more for whatever reason. Because there's a look, the best teams in baseball were in the National League. So it was really good. Look, the Astros are just an experienced postseason team that have had a lot of success already. Right? But what I'm telling you, and when I'm not saying that, oh, the Mets are just gonna make the playoffs and go to the World Series and win it, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the last 2 seasons had teams that had 83 and 84 wins get to the World Series that were one of the worst teams in the playoffs going into it record-wise. Clearly, that didn't matter. That's all I'm talking about. Not saying that the best team in baseball can't win the World Series. Of course they can. But to say that we don't have a chance is silly and kind of a waste of your breath. It is very silly. All right, let's see. All right, I'm just checking the comments really quick, guys. Carl says, I'm glad this game is happening before the big fight tonight. Is that the Canelo Alvarez? Or maybe it's UFC. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not into I mean, I like UFC. I'll watch it. Boxing, I don't care about anymore, to be quite honest. But yeah, I'm full in baseball mode right now. I'm watching a little bit of college football as I'm talking to you guys right now. And I do believe Chris is going to be on the post game with me later today. So that's a good sign. I believe that is. I know he's in the chat. If he's still here, just let me know, Chris. I haven't even messaged you yet. That's my fault. But I'll just it is Canelo. Okay, I thought I saw the commercial for it earlier today. Yeah. So guys, listen about today's game, right? It's very similar to yesterday, right? They picked away at Nola. You know, even though the Mets didn't have any hits for the first couple of innings, what did they do well? They battled at bats. He had like 50 pitches after the second inning. Like it was like 47, 48 pitches through 2 innings. So it's not always just the production that kind of cracks the pitcher a little bit. It can just be battling at bats, fouling pitches off, making it hard for him to get out. That's what the Mets did. If you looked at the game yesterday early on, when Nola was pitching well, but he was working hard in those first couple of innings. And look, he broke down quickly. He was hanging his breaking ball. His fastball wasn't located, and the Mets pummeled him. That's what they got to do again today. Colby Allard doesn't have really good stuff, but he does have a 3.5 ERA, right? Don't sleep on him. The Mets clearly want righties in the lineup. Nimmo's the only lefty in the lineup. So that's advantage Mets. But we've seen this before. Mets, when they don't see a pitcher, when they never seen a pitcher before, they kind of struggle. Now, it's been a little different this year. They hit well against pitchers that they haven't seen before or are really very new to Major League Baseball. So the Mets just got to do their job, right? I was a little nervous about yesterday because of Quintana, but his last 4 outings has been pretty damn good. And the offense obviously gave him enough run support. So it was just, everything just worked out really well for the New York Mets, and it was kind of a ho hum victory. And I was leaning back, I was eating some chips, I was comfortable. I'm not used to this season has been, you know, sweating it out almost every game. But yesterday was a nice feeling, kind of a relaxing feeling. I was more concerned. I was watching the Braves game and the Diamondbacks game, or at least preparing for it because it was a little bit watching. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens, right? Then actually the Mets game. So look, it's been a crazy season. 15 games ago. It's coming down to the wire. Obviously, nothing that I'm telling you is breaking news or anything like that. But let's get it done. Win the series today, and then we can talk about a sweep tomorrow. But today is the most important game. Today is all that matters. And today, with Luis Severino on the mound, he's got to do his job. He's got to do his job. This is a dangerous lineup, but you got to do the job. No more excuses. And that's what the Mets have to do today. Now, usually we talk about who is going to have a big game. Chris in the chat said it's going to be, he doesn't think it's going to be Marte. I think it's going to be Luis Acuna. I think he is made for these moments. Not because of the name, just because when you trade for a top prospect, you really don't know much about him. He wasn't your draftee. He's been in your system just over a year. So it's like, all right, let's see. But the good news is that I think he's going to have a good game. Now, I'm not saying he's going to hit one over the wall, drive in 4 runs, but I think he's going to be impactful. I think he's going to have a walk here, maybe a base hit here, get on base, cause some havoc on that base path. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, okay, Ken, you did say that. I know somebody said, I think it was you, Ken, that said 2 steals, 2 hits. Hey, he does that. Why not? Especially in the number 9 slot. I'll take that every day of the week. But I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to be impactful. So look out for Luis Acuna to be impactful today and do some damage in this ball game. Would Acuna be considered homegrown? No. Well, technically, yeah. I get he is getting developed by our farm system now, right? He's had a full season with us, and 2 months last year. So yeah, I could see that. So you don't have to be a drafted by that team to say that he's homegrown. He technically is, since he's learning through this Met system right now. The left, I don't know. That's a good question. That's I should have brought that up, and I just didn't even think it is number 2. Ooh, number 2. Number 2. Number 2 on your scorebook, but number 1 in your heart. Sorry, I just had to say that. Just give me a second, guys. I just want to see something. It is number 2. All right. So Luis Acuna, for anybody who wanted to know, is wearing number 2. Already the best shortstop in New York wearing number 2. I know that's going to piss off Yankee fans, right? That's the goal, right? I like that, Robert. You know why I like that? That he didn't choose his brother's number? Because be your own person, right? Don't try to replicate your brother in every single aspect. Now, will we all want him to have numbers like his brother? Of course. But don't do that. Don't replicate your brother. Be yourself. Be what fans talking about Luis Angel instead of Ronald, right? I want to hear Met fans talk about Luis Angel, not Ronald. But number 2 in your scorecards, Number one in your heart. At least we hope so. Right? Let's hope so. Exactly, Skull 100%. Write your own story. Couldn't said it better myself. Why do I feel like Mendoza likes to experiment with lineups too much? A few days ago, Eddie Alvarez was started. Well, Eddie Alvarez was starting because we talked about this, Todd. You didn't have no middle infielders. Iglesias is not 25 years old. This is a guy who is starting now in the middle of his 30s. You can't wear him out. So Eddie Alvarez played. He didn't hurt you. The Mets still did a good job. Like, we're overdicking it here. And the lineup without Lindor is obviously going to make some changes. Right? Iglesias gets moved up a bump to the leadoff spot, but everybody else is basically staying the same. It's a very similar lineup except for the name changes. So, look, we won 81 games this year. There's no point in questioning Mendoza when he won 81 games and in a wild card spot at this moment. Clearly, he's doing a good job. And me and Chris said it. There's no point in criticizing or, second guessing Mendoza's lineup anymore because he's proven that he knows what the hell he's doing. Because if he didn't know what he's doing, we wouldn't have 81 wins. And a lot of that has to do with his lineup construction. So, yippee. Christina, how you doing? Christina, I agree with you. The nerves are there. Yep, DJ Stewart is finally DFA'd. If he doesn't get picked up, he'll end up back in the minors. So don't get too excited. King, I understand that. But you know what? Vientos had some big games in the 2 spot. I like Vientos there. It puts a little fear in the pitcher, knowing that he can hit it over the wall at any moment. So I'm not too concerned about that. Now, I'm on this old school mentality where I'd rather have Nimmo number 2 when he's right, but he's not right yet. So I'm not going to complain about it. What happened, Shay Shay? What's the matter? I don't know if you guys heard that on the microphone, but Shay just went meow. He just ate, so his stomach's a little iffy. You okay? He's laying down again. He got the good life. Sorry. He just had to be known on the stream. What's going on with Beatty? He's hurt. Carlos, you picked the Mets to win 85 games. Chris did too. I picked 87. And I know some of us was like, didn't believe us. Some people didn't believe us. All you have to do is go back to a week before the season when me and Chris had our live season preview and we set our win totals. So what's going on with Pete? Everything. I mean, contract on his mind, not good under pressure, not good in runners in scoring position. He had a hell of a defensive game yesterday. Hell of a defensive game yesterday. Hell of a game yesterday. When he caught that ball that Schwarber hit in the first at bat, I worried when he throws the ball to the pitcher because he scares me when he throws the ball. But he had a hell of a game yesterday. Credit is where credit's due, and I will give Pete Alonso credit yesterday. Now, his bat needs to step the hell up. And Pete Alonso never had problems catching the ball. It's been throwing the ball that's been a problem over the last couple of seasons. But we need his bat going. Yeah, he hit it off a position player, which is hilarious to me. Hey, look, Alonso said he can hit off of Clemens. I know I took that from Gary Cohen, who said that yesterday, but it's true. I agree, Christina. Pete hits a home run when the Mets are. Yeah, listen, I know. We all know the situation with Pete Alonso with the bat. He's been embarrassingly bad with runners in scoring position. Now, if you don't show the name on the stats with average home runs and RBIs, you would say that's a pretty damn good season. But not for Pete Alonso. That's why it's disappointing. right? Pete Alonso can hit 30-plus home runs with his eyes closed. That's not special. What's special is 40-plus, 100-plus RBIs, batting 260, 270. He's not going to get there in most of his stats. Sucks, but that doesn't mean he can't still be an impact player on this team. Yes, he can. Now, if he does finish the season well and the Mets make the playoffs, he has the playoffs as an opportunity. Daniel Murphy was never an outstanding player. He was godly in the postseason in 2015. I'm not saying Pete Alonso is going to have Daniel Murphy type of postseason. That would be awesome. But the season's not over until you play your last and final game, either during the season, at the end of the season, or in the playoffs. So, listen, I'm going to bring this up because it's one of the most obvious things ever. Yankee fans won't agree, but I'm going to say it. Derek Jeter was never the best regular season player, but you know what he was? A great postseason player. He put it up another notch. He made the Hall of Fame because of his postseason numbers. If there was a guy I wanted to get a big hit in the playoffs in my lifetime, I want Derek Jeter at the plate in the playoffs. Again, never an MVP, never had the best numbers at his position, but he was damn good, if not great, in the postseason. And the Mets in 2000 was a victim of it. So, good news is that Alonso still has time. We'd like it to be yesterday, or the day before, or the day before, or the day before. But we can't do nothing about it except hoping he does. And let's hope he does. All right, guys. So, game 2, 4 o'clock on SNY. Apologies, saying it was on Fox. Got that kind of confused. I think that's next week with the Phillies. But it is on SNY, 4 o'clock. We get the best broadcast in baseball. Mets are 81-66. Phillies are 88-59. Mets are 7 games out of the division. Game up on the Braves. Game behind the Arizona Diamondbacks. And game and a half behind the San Diego Padres for that number 1 wild card. Luis Severino on the mound against Colby Allard. Game 148 of the season. Season is ending quickly, but it feels like it's taken forever, right? These last 20 games just feel like they're dragging. You know why? Because we got meaningful baseball in September, baby. That's why. Mets fans, embrace it. Enjoy it. Yes, there's going to be tough moments. Yes, there's going to be nervous moments. But enjoy it. We don't get this enough. Enjoy it. Have confidence in a team that has bounced back from bad losses. Basically, getting no hit for 8 innings, winning that ball game. Yesterday, getting no hit for like 3 innings. Then we break out offensively. This team, time and time again, has proved us wrong when we question anything about them. We questioned Quintana for 3 weeks straight. He performed 3 weeks straight. Mets offense was struggling. They scored 17 runs in 2 games. Things happen quickly, guys. Enjoy the rest of the season. Watch the game. Be confident in this team because they proved us wrong many times throughout the season. Because at one moment, no matter if you had confidence in this team or not, or you had a prediction before the season, we all questioned this team at some point this year. If it was 0-5, 11 games under, a little bit of a rough patch after the All-Star break, they've proved us wrong. So embrace it. With 15 games to go, the Mets are giving you what you wanted. Meaningful games in September. And the chance to make October baseball. And if we do that, a lot of us can say they overachieved. Most of them, most Met fans would say that because most of you thought they would have 75 wins. Wrong. So embrace it, enjoy it, and we all love the game of baseball. I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. You wouldn't be in the chat if you didn't. We all love it in our own little way. Baseball might be boring to everybody else, but those are stupid people. We're the smart ones because we know every aspect and the mind games during a game, right? You're thinking about who's coming in the bullpen. Are they going to pinch hit? Are they going to pinch run? Are they going to keep him in? We all know the strategy within the game. As a fan, that's all we think about. Why do we go on social media when I'm in it live during a game? Why everybody say, oh, you know what? Are they going to pinch hit for whoever? Do you think they're going to take him out? Because baseball fans actually have to think about what's going on in the sport. That's why it's a beautiful game. So with that said, thank you for tuning in to the Amazing Mets pregame show. I'll see you later after the game for post-game, hopefully talking about a New York Mets victory. Enjoy the game, guys. About just less than an hour, or about a half hour before Mets Phillies game 2. Let's see what Severino got today, and let's see what Luis Angel Acuna got in his first game in Major League Baseball, wearing number 2 and batting 9th in the lineup. With that said, guys, enjoy the game. Let's go, Mets. I'll see you on the post game. Let's go, Mets.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go?